Coach, I asked you what the host of this party was going to be serving up today. What's the drink of choice tonight?
Well, you know, I'm not promoting it, but I like some old cold beer. I think I'm going to have one. Not promoting it now.
Tonight, I'm setting a meat-eating world record.
A.J. Jefferson, airborne in. How about it, Superman? Welcome back home.
I was thinking, I was high as tweaking.
We're back. Boys are back in town.
It's been a while, but the guys who know ball are back for football.
And you know what? Knowing ball doesn't, it doesn't end. You either know ball, you don't in perpetuity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So here we are back again on the cusp of football season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an exciting one here in the great state of Arkansas, as it should be all over.
Yeah.
The start of August, that kind of brings the...
You can feel it.
Oh, it is a tangible excitement as football clips come out, as preseason training camp videos come out.
Yeah.
Everyone's faster, everyone's stronger, everyone's healthier.
Everyone's number one in the country right now.
We're playing everyone is undefeated
Yeah.
right now. And that will all change. In week 1, 50% of those teams are no longer undefeated. Like, it automatically reduces
Very
drastically.
quick.
But for now,
very quick turn.
we all got it. So, we know ball, and we're here to talk about some hog ball, I think. So, let's get it popping.
Dive straight into it. Okay, so I was thinking we do it positional. We kind of discuss that. We go by positions. And instead of really trying to see, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people do it really weird in the offseason because it's the offseason. It's a time of unknowing. We just see if we improved, we're kind of neutral at a position, or we downgraded. And we go by that. We start at QB. Easy place to start.
Yeah, dive right into it.
Yeah.
Huge upgrade.
Kenneth. Our boy Kenneth. KJ.
Only getting better.
Hard
Every
to,
day.
I mean, a position that the Razorbacks couldn't decrease in as long as he's coming back.
Yeah, him coming back solidified the fact that it was not going down. Yeah. Having a proven starter who is a game changer. There are quarterbacks and there are game changers. There are people who can actively take over a situation. They can make a play when it is needed. They can break a tackle in the backfield and still throw bombs down the field. KJ is that guy.
Precisely that guy.
KJ stats, career stats, 27 games started, 67 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Ooh.
10 interceptions.
I don't understand
incredible.
how
It's
this man
incredible.
gets hate.
It's
How does he
insane
get
how he's not
hate
the number one.
from like what is he what was there was a ranking that I saw where he was like mid-tier SEC quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's just like
It's just
He loves the
it
hate,
doesn't
though.
make any sense.
I will say
to me.
non-ball knowers love to expose themselves.
Yep.
They love
Yep.
nothing more than to just show off the fact that they do not know ball. If you have been watching, now I understand if Arkansas over the last 2 years, if you're a casual college football fan, you probably haven't watched a ton of Arkansas.
No.
They haven't been. But if you're an actual fan, an actual real college football fan, you've taken notice of KJ for 2 years of extremely efficient ball and of high level playmaking. And so I think we see that now he gets a chance to move into a new offense, and see that's a big part of the quarterbacks is a new quarterbacks coach. And so that's how we're going to kind of roll this in, take positional coach upgrades and kind of include that as part of our assessment of the position group. So I think the implementation of Dan Enos, who has had a good history of working with quarterbacks, developing them. He's produced, while he was a short time at Arkansas, I think that's our best thing to measure against. I mean, he produced historical seasons with guys like Brandon Allen, guys that were very talented.
Way less talented than KJ Jefferson.
But way less talented
than
than
KJ.
KJ. And he walks into, and we'll step on down the line, but just having a proven winner and a starter. Like, we're going to talk about the schedule later.
Yep.
KJ, we got to win some important games. We got to go to places like Baton Rouge. Like, my quarterback has already won games as a starting quarterback in Baton Rouge for the Rays. Like, it means something to have done things before.
Of course.
He's stepping up as a big-time leader. I think overall the position group, to a bigger extent, has improved even behind him with the addition of Jacoby Criswell.
That's what the improvement really it shows. Now we have a backup who looked fantastic. Short little snippet there in the
A backup
spring
much
game,
more
but
capable of being a legitimate SEC
he's
quarterback.
going to be our starter.
Yeah.
He's going to be our starter next year, and I think it's pretty solidified.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, when
Gave
KJ
Drake
was
May
going
run for his
down,
money.
when KJ was going down last year, it was kind of like, oh yeah, we don't really have a
No,
chance to
was
win this
bleak.
game.
It was bleak.
And
We
he-
were sending him out there. We were like, it was Patrick Mahomes. They're just sending him out there hobbling around. Couldn't really,
Yeah.
AC sprain, so
Yeah.
his arm is just gone.
Mm-hmm.
We have to send him out there. There's no one. We only
There
have
was no other option.
Injured
to win
pretty much
games.
the whole year, and he still threw only what 3 picks, 3 or 4 picks.
5 picks last
5
year.
picks.
His efficiency
That's
numbers.
crazy.
And people have said, I've seen it echoed a few times, and I don't want to get too caught up in this, but they're like, if this guy was wearing an Alabama jersey, like he would be the main Heisman frontrunner. And
Yeah.
to some extent, I don't really want to give too much credence to that, but like if you even compare just his numbers to Bryce Young's numbers, like last season, he was more efficient, threw for better touchdown to interception ratio, just a lot of things, like even statistically, passing wise. There is a strange perception of athletic quarterbacks that you see highlights of KJ making awesome runs down the field, trucking guys, and you're like, well, he's got to have a liability. Like he's not a good passer, right?
Yeah.
But that's just not like he's one of the most efficient passing quarterbacks I've
Especially
seen in
from
a
the
long
pocket.
time. Yes, he is and he's a great decision maker. And it will be fun. For Arkansas to have a great season, we need a healthy KJ for almost the entirety of the season. Like there certainly is a drop because not many players are.
There has to be a drop.
There has to be a drop. But should he be in that position, should he be healthy, like there's no reason he can't lead this offense to just a very effective and efficient season. Because I think we're going to get into it, but there's a lot of good position groups around him.
Yeah.
Speaking of KJ staying healthy, I think we should go ahead and talk about the offensive line. 'Cause
Line
that's,
moving
you
to
know-
So we're saying QB position.
Are we doing
QB
QB positions
improved.
and then
QB
yeah,
and positional coach
improved?
improved. Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't even really get too much into Eno's offense, but
Let's just say
anything over Kendall Brow's trick plays is
eh,
probably going to be a little bit of a improvement in terms of,
Yeah,
we
getting
were
to
in games last year we would have won if we scored in the red zone. So,
Yep.
And Enos has
When you
proven that we
lose-
can score in the red zone.
we lost 4 games by 3 points or less.
Yep.
Red zone efficiency is like one of the biggest keys ever.
Yeah.
The thing about our offense last year too is we were a very explosive team, but it just lacked that consistency.
Yep.
At any given time we could score. KJ go on a huge run or 50-yard bomb to Stevens, who have a rocket, break a big run. But then the next drive, it's like, oh, trick play, 2nd and 16, drive's done, drive's dead.
A lot of drive killers.
3 and outs. We were having just a ridiculous amount of 3 and outs. So hopefully what I'm hoping for Minos is just even if we take a dip down in the explosive plays, if we can just have consistent drives, that will boost the momentum just throughout the game, because those are momentum killers, dude. When you're going 3 and out 5 times a game, that just kills the entire game.
And I think that's one of the things, Enos's offense, I don't think we're going to see a dip down in explosive plays.
Yeah.
Just based on, we're going to get to, obviously, we got coming back at running back, wide receiver, but we'll move on to the offensive line. We'll move.
Yeah, how are these guys going to protect our guy? Because
I wrote down some numbers coming from the offensive line.
Let's get some numbers.
I
Yeah.
like that. While you get the numbers, I got a purveying thought.
Okay.
And this is an absolute judgment of our head ball coach. We hired Sam Pittman, and in doing so, you pretty much have to be confident that your offensive line will be solid. There may be some things left, desired but we can count on the offensive line. And in year 4 under Pittman,
They're his guys.
in the offseason, I got to be I cannot have any questions about the offensive line.
Yeah.
And there will probably be some new names shuffle in this year. But man, I gotta think and I gotta hope that this unit is gonna be really solid. And I think you're gonna back me up there with some good numbers here.
I'm just gonna back you up how they're looking. So
I like that.
that's kind of the thing. What I was agreeing with when I came and looked at the offensive line is we just need guys who look like they can play in the SEC, and I
Beautiful.
bet Pittman can get them there.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the prevailing thought of
We need dudes.
we just need dudes. So let's look at our dudes. We got Bo Limmer coming back. Huge, 6'5", 306 center.
Huge beast.
Big boy.
Long-time
Latham,
starter.
long-time starter.
You need several,
We got
you know,
two guys coming
established.
back who have played. Him and Brady Latham, left guard,
Nasty.
6'5",
Dog.
310, dog.
Dog.
Guy coming from Florida, transfer, Joshua Braun, 6'6", 341.
Like that.
Ooh.
Like
I mean,
that.
huge. We got Goliath in
Big dog.
lining up every day.
Big dog.
Kudus, one of Pittman's guys, might start. It's, you know, the lines, whoever we're running out.
We need
week
8 good
one
guys
is
at
our
least.
guys.
We need 8 good guys ready to roll.
Shuffle 'em
Kudus,
out.
6'5",
Roll 'em out there.
303. Come on. Devin Manuel, 6'9", 310.
Good night.
Oh
This
my
is our
God.
line.
We got another
Tackle.
Dan Skipper in
This
the
is
house.
our line. We got another guy.
6'9" is massive.
We got Tommy Varnell, transfer, Maryland, 6'8", 3
love it.
so and such.
Bodies.
We don't have anyone under.
Jeez.
I mean, come on.
We got a lot of long arms,
the clay is there.
a lot of big. I like that. That's a good way to
what
put
it is.
it.
The artist is Pittman's the artist.
Yeah.
The material is there. Like I feel like we're gonna end up with something good.
That's a holdover coach as well. Cody Kennedy stays on the program after a major season of overhaul. For the first real time in Pittman's tenure, there's been like serious overhaul. But I do like it when even in serious overhaul, there are some holdover coaches that you care to keep. And I think he believes in Cody Kennedy, and you know, as just one of the most respected offensive line coaches, you know, over the last 30 years in Sam Pittman, to have faith and to trust, you know, in his own offensive line coach to, you know, better prepare those guys. At some point I gotta put my trust and put my faith somewhere. I fully believe he's got that under control. He's gonna make these guys into
And
a
it
force
had to
of
be a
unit.
point that they had to like focus in on, dude. Our quarterback was not healthy last year.
Yeah.
You know, you have to think during the offseason, he's like, okay, what can we do? Not just the players can we get, but how can we address this to our current guys to keep our guy healthy, you know? So you have to think, you know, got to trust Pittman. Like you said, you have to trust him.
Yeah, I think he's the biggest. You know, I'm gonna go. I also want to say before we move on and kind of give our verdict on how we feel about the offensive line. KJ's lining up in. KJ is a hard dude to bring down to begin with. He's gonna make every offensive line look better than it is.
That's true.
Rocket
That's true.
Sanders, tough dude to bring down. He's gonna make every offensive line.
I wish
look
we could
better
pull
than
up
it is.
that clip against BYU and Memphis. That BYU game, that was the most absurd plays that I can remember a quarterback
That was
making.
We're taking sacks away from teams. We're taking tackles for losses and sacks away. Our offensive line's always going to look better when you have just the two-headed monster coming back.
I know for a fact. One of the most enjoyable times was being live in Provo and watching KJ just silence the BYU faithful, who were a great crowd, by the way, and we're very excited to welcome you into Fayetteville in a few weeks.
Come on the pod, guys. Get him on the pod.
But
We gotta
watching
get
him
some-
just make that kind of special play, both of them just make play after play of just spectacular. And that was going to be my lead in towards a great way to protect KJ is to have an amazing running game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think. Oh, I'm a little net positive. I don't think it's a huge improvement. I don't see like a drastic. I don't think we needed a drastic improvement. That wasn't a huge area of weakness. But I would say net positive, but not like major improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not downgraded. I think
Nah.
we got more SEC dudes now than we have in years past. And I definitely have faith in our coaches to get them playing as one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Offensive line's a fun position group because it is the only position or group in football that like truly works so so cohesively. So not only do you need 5 great players, but you need 5 great players playing as one unit. Like they have to be totally locked in.
Got to be in
to being
sync.
one, and I think they will be.
I'll back it up. Yeah, improved.
Net
I
positive.
think just Pittman improved.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So moving on to running back.
Yeah,
Oh, buddy.
this is what gets the running backs get me pretty excited. I cannot lie.
Yeah, it's hard not to be excited. We got a dude named Rocket.
Dude named Rocket.
It's just called Rocket.
He was always called Rocket too. I like that. He just came. No, this was Rockets.
Yeah.
They just gave us a rocket, and they said blast off, and he did. He's getting
Oh,
better.
did he blast off,
This
man.
is only his 3rd year of being a running back.
He's a wide receiver. Came in as a wide receiver. So it's just a guy who's
How big is he?
Something like
What's his weight?
6'2", 220.
245, dude.
God, dude. I mean,
He was 237 last year.
He's
They
massive.
said he's gained like 10
Really?
pounds.
No, he is massive.
He is huge.
He is huge.
And he breaks the long run. Like, he's so big, strong, and physical, but he's so capable of running away from
Yeah,
anybody.
he's not called a Rocket because he's huge. He's
No.
called a Rocket because he's fast.
He is called.
He's due one breakout run, and it might not be a touchdown, but I'm saying like a 45, 50-yard run, wherever that may be, at least once a game.
He runs.
Yeah.
At
He
least
runs
once a game.
angry. He runs with a purpose. He does have room for growth in terms of true running back vision. That is a gift that needs to be refined. He's obviously very natural. Like, he is a fantastic. You do not run for 1,400 plus yards in a college football season
In
on
the
accident.
SEC. In the
Yeah,
SEC.
on
yeah.
accident. So, I mean, if he even the amazing thing about this group is Rocket could have a dip in production legitimately. Maybe it's usage wise or just he could run for 1,000 yards this year in our running back group. Like,
They're going to pick up the slack,
will pick up the slack. In a day of transfers and
Yeah.
the portal being such a huge, it is amazing to me that we have been able to keep together this group of talent that in a lot of ways is so deep
They're
that
getting touches.
yeah,
They know they're going to get some touches.
yeah, they're gonna get some, but there is only so many to go
That's
to
true.
go around. I mean, you think about, I mean, they've kind of said our second back is AJ Green,
Yeah.
and I mean, shown
It's probably 2A, 2B with
Yeah.
Green and Dominion.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Really, you say, all right, you put Dominion there, and I have no arguments. That man is a impossible
love
force
Dominion,
to
yeah.
bring down. But you have Dominique Johnson as like essentially your number 4 back, who at times has looked.
He looked like our
a
number one.
NFL.
Oh, 2021,
running back.
he was
He looked like our number one. It was
Rocket Sanders.
Yeah, it was Rocket. It was Rocket and Dominique, and then, I mean, AJ wasn't too far behind, but
And he hasn't shown. He has not come off that injury yet. Like
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 ACL tears.
And
We're gonna
so
see what
we
he comes
may
back as.
he may never be that dominant again. I mean, he had runs of pure dominance.
Yeah.
So he may never return to, and that's a realistic thing that, you know, but I still believe he's got quite a bit of.
I mean, that's your 4th guy, though. We're not saying he's number 2 and having to come in and get,
and your
15
freshman
carries a
you're bringing
game.
in one of the more impressive freshman backs, and his name is escaping me.
Isaiah Auguste.
Auguste. I was gonna say Augustave.
It could be Augustave, number 6 running
I
back
like
in the class.
that. Augustave. I'm gonna call him
Augustave.
that regardless.
Gustav.
Stave. Yeah, we're just. I mean, it's a stable, just loaded in the backfield. Love it. Like,
Only can improve.
look at all the pieces Enos is working with right here.
Number 1 quarterback in the SEC. Homer take, but he is.
No,
Number 1 running back in
Gotta
the SEC statistically last year.
best stable of backs in the SEC.
Easily the best stable of backs in the SEC.
a solid offensive line, like, and I think so. That kind of leads us to our last position group, and this would probably be the.
So we're saying
biggest-
improved. Saying improved
yeah,
in running
definitely
back. Easy to-
improved.
easy to
Yeah,
say.
no.
Yeah, okay.
pretty much same group. You know, they're only going to get better the harder they work. So definitely an improvement, I would
Yeah,
say.
lost no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gained maybe even, probably not going to be your most productive back, certainly, but possibly even one of the most talented ones in the room. You added that as a freshman incoming, so
Yeah.
lots of things to be excited
Next
for.
year's bright, future's bright.
Coach, same coach year over year, and
Smith, Michael
yeah.
Smith. Yeah. Dude, Michael Smith's
No,
dogs.
not Michael Smith.
It's Coach Smith though.
Yeah,
Pretty sure. Yeah, Smith. I love his whips. You got to have a coach with swag. That's why we're gonna get to it on defense, but we're getting some coaches with a little swag.
Gotta
We'll get
have.
to 'em.
You can't. Your players won't have. You can't really expect your players to have swag if your coach has no swag.
Yeah.
Shout out Jimbo Fisher. I mean, A1 example. Coach, no swag. Team, no swag.
Absolutely no swag.
That's like the best way to put it.
Oh,
Jimbo just has
university, no swag.
Yeah. No.
He
yeah.
might have had swag coming in, and it
Absolutely
just
no
zapped
drip.
it.
We're starting roast week early on
Oh,
these
yeah.
Aggies.
Anyway, let's.
But-
My biggest position of question, and not because I have zero faith in it, but
Same.
I think wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
The
question
most
marks.
most unknown
Largest
position
turnover.
group for us. Yeah.
And the guys are good, but they haven't played on this stage yet, so we don't. They're big boy. That's the thing, and that was the you know, the want of why we got these guys is they're 6'4" and 6'5". Andrew Armstrong and Isaac Tesla, they're big boys. And, you know, they did play in lower levels of college football, but they were productive. Andrew Armstrong, like 1,200 yards receiving.
Yeah, I want to start off by talking about what we lost. Because
We did lose a lot.
We lost
Yeah.
our leading, we had four different leading receivers, game by game leading receivers.
Yeah.
Matt Landers, dog. Just one of the
Absolute dog.
Absolutely.
Dude.
I mean,
one of my favorite receivers. We only had him for a year, but he was nasty.
So we lose Matt Landers, we lose Hazelwood, both going off to the draft. We lose Warren Thompson, who was a leading receiver for a game, and we lose Keytron Jackson to transfer to Baylor, who also led, I want to say, maybe the BYU or Mississippi State
He had
game.
some highlight plays.
He was going to be
you know?
good.
Yeah.
He went to Baylor because he's going to be good.
Yeah.
So that's who we lose. Who do we have coming back that was already on the team? Bryce Stevens. I don't know how you feel about Bryce. I feel like he's kind of shown us what he's made of. I think he can be a good SEC slot
He's a
receiver.
contributor.
Yeah, he can contribute to the team.
He's a contributor.
And I think that's kind of his spot on the team.
We gotta have contributors.
Can't have, we'd love to have 10 dogs at wide receiver,
Yeah.
but you got to have some guys who can just catch the ball and
Move the
catches
chains.
punts and
Yeah,
he does other things.
Possession receiver, middle of the field.
Yeah.
Hits you in the
Third and
hands,
4,
catch the ball.
3rd and 4, 6 yards. Like I need a guy that's gonna get me a 6-yard out and just nail it.
And he's comfortable with KJ.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that usually when you have, we're going to get to these wide receiver transfers, but usually coming in, that comfortability at the start is harder to find. So guys caught passes from KJ and is actually our leading returning wide receiver this year.
That is I have hope for this group.
Yeah.
Certainly. I think there is enough there. But that is a little daunting that your leading wide receiver is Bryce Stevens, who has made a few big plays.
Yeah.
But it has not been like a consistent play after play receiver.
That's a big thing with the transfer portal nowadays. Even like every position is like, there's gonna be question marks. You never truly know. I mean, they could be great for one team and then they come and it just happens to not work out. So, and obviously, like a lot of teams are having success with the transfer portal. So it's not like I'm saying, the transfer portal is bad or whatever, but it's just, there's more uncertainty. So we just don't know. These guys could end up great. They could be, an anchor for the team for KJ, but you never know. But continue.
So we go down, 2 young guys, Jaden Wilson, Sam Mbaka. Well, I don't know anything about them.
No, yeah,
They
nothing.
caught one combined pass last year.
Yeah, Jaden Wilson, I believe, was hurt.
Yeah, he got in the car accident after the season, recovered from a car accident.
And I do like Sam Mbake. I think very unproven. Just
don't know anything about the
No,
guys.
I just don't really know anything about him. Like I've seen him, and
Yeah.
I could imagine him being a good wide receiver, but I've never seen him do it on a Saturday.
But he's good. Looks good in the spring game.
Yeah.
So, something to hope for. Then the most saved him for last, the most positive returning light is Isaiah Satania.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him.
Highest ceiling, highest playmaking ability, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what they gained in the portal is some more size. Because Steven and Satania, both between them are neither very big or just
6 foot 170 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they both are very exciting in their true playmaking. Like they make people miss. They're very fast. I mean, he's special. Isaiah is a special speed. Yeah. And where he finds his role, I think is, he might only catch 3 passes a game, but one of them's a 60-yard bomb.
Yeah.
Like he burns you. It is not a bad thing to have a guy that is just so fat. Like he just runs up. He runs vertical routes. Like he's just a vertical route runner, and he's just running past everyone.
He's going to be a guy that they're going to try to get the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
Like he's
Give me some
vertical
jet
routes,
sweeps.
some jet sweeps, some screens,
Yeah.
some tunnel screens and stuff like that. So, he's a guy returning, probably our biggest hope in the people returning.
Yeah, our brightest star potential. Like he could potentially have a year, and it may not be this year. Like he is still developing, and I think he'll even put on some weight and strength, and even continue to improve. But I think he can be a valuable playmaker. Like we talked about, Bryce Stevens more of a kind of contributor, and that's very important. While he can make some plays, I think Satanga, he fits more into a true playmaker of this roster.
Yeah.
Like will be counted on to make some big things happen.
I can see Bryce Stevens as almost like a Devion Warren.
Yeah.
Coming in, he's going to be
like
good
that.
for you in the slot. He's going to get you some. He's probably going to get a catch a game.
Make a
Two
few
catches a game. 2 targets a game.
I like that. I could see that's a good comp there. That's similar kind of body style and playing style.
You're excited. He was contributing on the team. It's kind of one of
Could
those
make
guys.
some big could break you off a 60-yard play.
Yeah.
Every now and then. Or
Fast. He's still fast. Regardless, he's just not Satania fast. So then we get in the transfers, which you were kind of leading into. Andrew Armstrong is the guy I think you were starting to talk about from Texas A&M Commerce.
We got three
FCS guy.
main transfers. Really.
3 main transfers. We got a guy from Memphis who I think he's from Arkansas. He's coming back home. I don't know if he's going to get too much playing time. But Armstrong is the guy who's leading the pack for our transfers. 1,000 yards last year, 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, like 60-some receptions, something like that.
60 receptions. Just a dude.
Yeah, production does not lie.
6'4".
Yeah.
Whew. So that's what
6'4" and fast.
We needed. We were missing size of receiver, and we brought in 3 guys that have size.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm a little more excited about 2 of them. Armstrong certainly is one of them. I mean, he's looked every bit the part of a legit wide receiver. And you do grade competition, that does matter. But production and like that kind of thing does not just happen. That high level production does not just fabricate. Like he went out there game after game. And was a consistent catcher of the ball, and a producer.
And I gotta imagine receiver and cornerback are 2 positions where they probably get people develop into those positions in college and can it's more scalable than say if we got like a Division II quarterback.
Yeah. He always had the
He's
size
an athlete.
and the speed and he probably did just develop a little bit more, and now he's ready to. You can't teach 6'4".
No.
Or that fast and that physical. Hoping he. Nice thing is, I mean, he doesn't have to be just our true number one Like it's not like when Treylon Burks was a receiver. This guy's far and away our number one target, our number one priority.
Yeah.
We just need him to be one of the guys. We don't have to have. We have stars on offense.
Yep.
Like we have legitimate, just studs on offense. We just need the wide receiver group as a whole to contribute enough and make enough plays.
Yeah.
Catch the balls that are thrown to you. Like we cannot be. That's what I need this year. We're gonna have open receivers with the running attack that we have, and Enos is gonna draw us up. We're gonna be open. You got to catch what's thrown to you, and be able to make an extra play. Make one guy miss. There's not. I don't need you to be Superman. I don't need you to be Calvin John. Like I need you to make one guy miss every now and again.
Yeah.
Get us 20 extra yards, or make something happen every now and then.
Even these receivers just being competent is going to keep our offense explosive as it has been the last couple of seasons. So
that is what we're looking for, competence.
We just need like you said, catch the ball, hit you in the hands, catch the ball.
And I think
that's all.
I like Kenny Guyton. He's still there as our position coach there.
Yeah.
Overall, I probably would say just because of the unknown, I would move us to kind of a net negative.
Slight downgrade.
Not necessarily down. I guess technically I'm calling it a downgrade.
Yeah.
But I don't really.
It's just more of an unknown thing. Like you said, like we don't know. They could.
I don't have high level producers coming in.
This receiver room could end up being better than last year.
But that's kind of not. That's not what we had last year either. And we ended up with Matt Landers, who, he was buried at Georgia.
Yeah, Matt Landers was.
And then came in here. He was a dog. Jaden Hazelwood was
He did some stuff for us.
Kind of a bust, if you can call him a
We did think that he was going to be a lot better. He had some nice plays.
He was like the number 1 receiver in the country. Coming into college, and then
I
expected him. Height guy. Like he was not as he was not a very big receiver.
No. Physical receiver, though.
Very physical,
size,
but not that.
Especially.
And I think he could even, to be honest, I still think he could find a place in an offense.
Yeah.
He did enough. I mean, I hate to keep coming back to it, but he's a true possession receiver, contributor. Caught the ball pretty well.
Great blocker.
Yeah.
Which gets you some steam. But the other two guys, just to throw their names out there, Isaac Tesla. Is it
Where'd he go to
Tesla?
school at?
Went to
I know it was
Hillsdale College.
Yeah, I know it was a Division II school.
1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns again.
It's just
production.
It's hard to do that in any. Like, there's still just a 60-minute game.
Yeah.
It's still, the rules are still
Yeah,
the
there's
same.
only so much you can do in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's,
And you watch his highlights, and I mean, he's making catches. Like, he's catching the ball. Like, a lot of one-handed catches, a lot of
his hands do look
catches,
insane.
a lot of goal line catches where he's just snagging it over people. Another 6'4" guy. 6'4" in the spring game, looked pretty fast.
Yeah.
Just kind of almost the same. We got a black and white version of the same guy. It's just coming in. 13 touchdowns, somewhat small college coming in to produce.
Some tiny college you never heard of. They were both very highly recruited, though. So both from very small. And it might say, oh, y'all got 2 transfers from, whatever, Texas Junior College or community college. And it's like, yeah, but Bama wanted this guy. Yeah. A&M wanted this guy. Like, yeah, they had a lot, and that is a really positive aspect to me of the transfer portal, is for guys like that come in, overlooked in high school for whatever reason, because there's lots of reasons. I mean, people grow or change and develop far more in college even than they already have, and so a guy like that just comes out, produces at a lower level, and then is highly sought after, to find a fit in the SEC or find a fit and have more, exposure and be around higher level talent that more fits kind of where they're at. So hopefully they prove it to us. Hopefully at the end of the year we say, man, the wide receiver group was a real plus. But at the moment, I do kind of have to give it. I got to be at least a little bit, we've been very positive. We've been very positive because overall, I'd say the offense I'm more excited about.
Yeah, I
really
am
the
too.
biggest change would be overall in the offense would be your coordinator.
Yeah.
I think that's at the end of the day, I'm excited about the coordinator change because I think it will make our offense more efficient and effective situationally.
Yeah.
That was the biggest. Bryles put up numbers, he put up stats, and for the most part was very effective for several years at Arkansas. But effective situationally was his biggest. It was by far our biggest issue.
You got to score. It's worthless if you don't score.
Yeah, and so I think that's an area of strength for Enos, I believe, is that being very effective when it truly matters on 3rd and goal or like on 4th and 2 times and critical
just
moments.
Being in the red zone.
Yeah.
I want to throw out this final wide receiver name because the guy's just crazy, and he's the most. I think he could be our Matt Landers this year. 6'7" dude, Tyrone Broden from Bowling Green. 6'7", like 4'4" guy.
Don't know this guy.
500 yards last year, 7 touchdowns. If you look at his highlights, he's just catching long bombs. He's just running deep.
And that's perfect for KJ.
That's
nice
what I'm thinking.
That's
nice to have.
You throw in a guy, and he's still 6'7". It's like, yeah, we know he's going deep, but he's 6'7" going deep.
All
it's
else
not
fails,
like
throw it up
5'10".
there, KJ.
Yeah.
KJ does a good job of that. Bailout
That's
plays.
his best ball. Is the deep ball.
He does put like broken plays in good spots.
Yeah.
That's why he'll throw up some balls that are like kind of, especially when Traylon was there, he would throw up some balls that was just like to an area.
Yeah.
Now when you have a guy like that, but he is really good at not putting them in dangerous positions.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he hasn't been intercepted very much. Even when he kind of throws a ball that's like a questionable ball, he does a really good job of finding a solid area that isn't in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So
my final verdict on the wide receivers is preseason. I'm going to say it's a slight downgrade preseason, but I think we have a group that could be like some of those just Mississippi State or Ole Miss teams where you look at them and all of a sudden they have a bunch of good wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the year, I feel like there's been a bunch of Mississippi State teams where I've looked at them and like, oh, these guys are dogs. Or when you played them and they're like the 3rd string wide receiver is coming off and making.
You're like, what is this guy doing to
exactly.
us? What is happening?
And I feel like we're going to
never heard his name.
That's almost our best possible scenarios. We end up with people are going to have to stop the run. These receivers are going to be put in positions where they're just going to need to beat one guy. They're not going to need, not a lot of safeties are going to be committed to stopping the run.
Yeah.
So you're just going to need to beat one guy. And I think by the end of the season, we could be looking back and being like, oh, that's one of the better receiver groups we've had at Arkansas in quite some time.
I hope so.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I hope so.
But start the season. little bit of a downgrade.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's nice to keep it in perspective.
Yeah,
like,
want to.
Yeah.
But the production, I mean, coming in, it's like the same transfers last year. Way less production. Different levels, but way less production. Tight end is the last group. It's just
I didn't even think about
It's a whole new group I can go through. We got a dude from North Texas, Gums, who, if you look at I went back and looked because he wasn't even the best North Texas transferring tight end. He's the second best.
Yeah, they did have some studs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did set.
All conference guy.
Yeah.
All conference dude coming. He's going to be our day one starter most likely.
Yeah, I would think so. That is a position. That's actually, I'm glad I almost forgot about tight ends, and maybe that was.
And it's important in the Enos offense. He's a big tight end guy.
Yeah, it is. It's conducive to some guys having good seasons.
Yeah.
But overall, that's a position group of a bit of concern. Thankfully, that Gums did stay with, because he had an interesting recruitment where he committed very quickly, kind of
comes back,
and then kind of it's up in the air because he's still taking visits and stuff, but then eventually does reaffirm commitment to the Razorbacks, and it is. I'm glad we have him on campus because he's a very special athletic playmaker from the tight end position. So I think he could be a great receiving.
That's what I think our tight ends look like. Our other one's Luke Hawes. I think he's going to play a lot. Number 3 tight end in the nation.
But he is a freshman though. That's the only concern, and I'm not. Don't hold that against anyone.
Freshmen now are becoming even less and less of a. I mean, kids are coming way more prepared to play college football.
Yeah.
And same with college basketball. Just same with collegiate sports. And I think baseball's always been one where freshmen can kind of, if you're really good at baseball, it almost translates up into college a little better. But in football, we're seeing a lot of freshmen be able to come in. Not to say he's the guy, but it has to be somebody. Yeah. And he's going to be one of the most talented guys we have on our roster, honestly, in general. Looking at him in the spring game, talented dude.
He's another good pass catcher from the position, which is very valuable. But I would like, and the guys, I'm sure we do have a few blocking tight ends that will not be they're not probably even as well known or because pretty much for the most part their only function is as almost an extra tackle a lot of times in this kind of scheme. Well, there'll be a lot of 2 tight end sets.
Ton of them
that they run. So
Enos' game.
That's kind of, especially when you'll have one more blocking oriented kind of tight end and one more pass catching, and so I think we got a good mixture of both. We don't have a Brock Bowers or someone we don't have an All-American tight end on the roster, but I think we have enough to contribute. I think
at the end of it,
not a liability
upgrade. We lost Trey Knox.
Yeah.
All we had was Trey Knox.
Yeah,
we gained 3 guys that I think can play. Another transfer, Francis Sherman from Louisville, played. He's going to be our inline blocker.
Yeah, and I like the position coach. Michael Turner. Michael Turner from Stanford.
Oh yeah, that was a big
Stanford.
Get. That was a big
and
get.
he just has a fantastic track record of producing high level NFL talent at tight end. And I think plucking him from Stanford is just fantastic.
He coached some big name tight ends. Who was it that went to Stanford? There were a lot of Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz from I guess he's not on the Cowboys anymore. There are a couple with Stanford. Yeah, Stanford always did produce really good tight ends in the NFL. I can't remember the names, but yeah, I remember hearing that. My dad was telling me about that. It was very exciting hire.
Yeah, so that's a positive, I think.
Yeah.
Grabbing him. Yeah, I would say tight end was pretty bleak last year. We had was Henry one of the Henry guys still here? But
what's his
Hudson?
Hudson, yeah.
He was never quite.
He ended. Man, that was so sad. He was Hunter Henry's brother, five-star recruit, right?
Yeah, big time
recruit, and just never
quite panned out.
Yeah,
never had quite the next level athleticism.
Yeah,
he was always just. He did some good things. He played.
Yeah, he
played a good amount.
He wasn't a liability on the field, but
yeah, he definitely wasn't.
Never quite panned out.
Wasn't a 5-star. Wasn't a 5-star though, or what you want a 5-star.
When you're saying never quite panned out for a 5-star, he wasn't good.
Yeah.
Didn't pan out for a football.
That's not anything against him.
Yeah, he didn't really pan out for
Hey, it's hard, man. It's the SEC. Awesome. It's the SEC, dude. It's not.
And he stayed with the program his whole entire time.
I was gonna say, good program guy. Came in.
Yeah.
never had any issues in the was a
We could say it like it is. He wasn't good.
he wasn't good.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so we don't know. Tight end, who knows? Who knows what we end up with?
Tight end,
Question
I'll
mark.
go
We had last
truly.
year.
I'll go neutral at tight
Neutral?
end. I wouldn't say it's a negative, but I wouldn't really say it's a positive because I am.
I just think we have more talented,
and
more
there-
talented room.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of. Am I really judging if we went upgraded from last season or how I feel about?
Yeah.
It's kind of I'm kind of rolling that into one, I guess. But I would say pretty. Yeah, I think I would be with you because I'd be positive because we had
We had one guy, and he was
he wasn't even
All
a
right,
tight
yeah,
end. I mean,
he was all right. Yeah, no,
he was going to be good. We
he
were
was a
more
slow
excited about him
receiver.
this year.
Yeah.
Like
He was.
during
yeah, he
the
would be
season,
good. Yeah,
we were like, man, Trey Knox next year is going to be awesome.
I wish he was. If we had him and we added those other guys, I would feel really good. But I don't think we just lost like
We didn't. I think we improved.
he
personally.
got some yards. He had some good stats because we just had to have someone in that someone had to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just happened to be the guy. And I'm thankful for, I'm glad he made the position switch. I think it was good for him overall.
Program guy. He was around during the bleakest time. So
During the bleakest times, graduated and
Oof.
moved on.
went on with
followed his-
Dow Loggins.
Yeah.
There was in the offseason, there was little rocky times there with thinking about our coordinator position because they were talking about, and people started to get upset that we might lose Dow Loggins. And let me put this out there. Dow Loggins is widely regarded as one of the worst offensive coordinators in NFL history. Having one of truly by players, by coaches, he was one of the worst offensive coordinators ever. And that, how bad you have to be to get singled out as a guy like that? You got to be historically. So when people were like, well, what if we can't get Dow Loggins? Sure, I think he's buddy with Pittman. And I think that's really what kind of the deal was. But I don't think he's our savior as an offensive coordinator. I think we'll be just fine if he's out of here. So I'm think overall we ended up in a great spot with our if we had down, I'm just glad the coordinator situation worked itself out as it did. I think it was time, and this is a great segue into defense because it was certainly time for a change on defense. But I think it was a time for a change at the coordinator position on offense. I think there was too much. Even the non-committal to the program was upsetting for Kendall Briles to me.
That was the main thing at the end of it was just him being so wishy-washy to a program that helped him out so much. His 2 years at Arkansas is going to 3 years.
Yeah.
3. Yeah, 3. His 3 years at Arkansas are going to be looked like in his career at Florida State. Not great. Yeah. Not great.
Forgettable, very
Baylor. Oof. Ended badly.
ended in flames.
We can say,
Not great. It's like we really helped him turn his coaching career around, and then for him to, I'm coming back next year, a week
Snake
later.
us. Thank God he snaked us, though.
Gone. Yeah, good riddance.
See ya.
Yeah, see ya.
Your dry ass barbecue.
I bet Kendall Briles I would not probably like hanging out with him.
He just seems like a Texas guy.
He kind of seems like a robot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
like a Texas football robot.
It's kind of a lot of Texas guys. No
Yeah,
offense to Texas guys.
Yeah, that is a very quality of. They're just all programmed to think one way.
They got a few things going. It's just like barbecue, football. Barbecue, football.
Anyway, good to probably all in all good to disassociate from the Briles name. Just,
Yeah.
As unfortunate, I'm not trying to. Just it's not a super positive. It's one of the worst stories in college football over the last 30 years. I'm not saying it's the end of and people, Anyway, I'm not getting into true ethics of everything that went down. It's just synonymous with one of the worst scandals in college sports in a little bit. So, not the worst thing in the world to not have Art Briles kind of around the program, associated with the program.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, TCU. Enjoy.